where are you off to next?
We got to get back to the city tonight and do some work, and then I'm headed down to Florida. The NFL. If you'd have told me this 4 years ago that the NFL would come to me and say, Ryan, will you be a representative of our NFL Legends community, where we help retirees and players transition out? I would have told you were crazy, and what an honor. I found that out this last week, so I'm headed down there for a summit this week with Tracy Perlman and Chad Pennington, Mark Brunell, those types of guys that have helped players transition. They helped me transition when I didn't feel like, and this happened when we were in San Francisco, when I was out of prison for a year and I didn't want to be in the public eye, and you had me on the show and things changed. I went into this lounge called the NFL Legends Lounge, and I walked in and I saw like immediately 4 former teammates of mine, and they all came up to me and just wrapped their arms around me because I felt like I didn't belong with any of them, right? Because I felt like I was a failure. And I walked into that room and they told me, we're all legends. We made it to the NFL. You know how hard that is? And I took Chad Pennington's hand. He walked me around, introduced me to everybody. They put their arm around me, and this has kind of been the journey. And what I've been doing for the last 4 years when it's come to the recovery community, I'm now going to get to do really in my peer group, because I don't want anybody else who played in this league to ever feel like they're less than or be as miserable as I was at that time. So that's a great honor.
And the reaction that you always get in those first couple of appearances, and hopefully that opens some people's eyes to who you are and, you know, what you are as a person, because I think everybody had that impression, that image of you, and they weren't quite sure if it was real or not. And hopefully you're getting these opportunities because you came clean in a variety of ways.
When you're transparent and vulnerable, and I never thought that was a strength. I always thought that was like, I needed to be guarded. I can't let anybody see what I considered weakness, right? And I had changed because I was forced to change, and I had been of service to others. And when I came on your show that day, it was just, I kind of just peeled down those bricks from that wall, and we had a conversation where, like, no, I didn't know anybody else was listening. I was just talking to you, and it changed my life because people got to see that. But I also had to back it up, right?
Yeah.
There couldn't ever be.
Hey, I was skeptical.
Everybody should have been.
I heard it and I went, I've been around this before, and you've lived up to it, and hopefully there's great things down the road for you. You know, we were friends with him, and we had him on the show a few times. He came out with us a couple of times in New York. The Indianapolis Super Bowl, the screening of That's My Boy, the Adam Sandler movie, he was with us. And then all of a sudden, we saw where he got arrested. We saw that he was was going to jail. And then I said to Paulie, we should reach out and just, if we can help in any way. And then eventually when he came out, and then we had him on, and people got to hear his story, and then they realized, you know what? He has gone through a lot. He got, humbled, embarrassed, and he'll go through this the rest of his life because he's an addict. He broke into somebody's home and was stealing pain pills. So he's gone through an awful lot. But it's great to see that he has a special person in his life, and he's got a son now, and he's getting these opportunities to talk to people and tell that story. Yes,
the Legends thing with the NFL makes so much sense because he's an absolutely legendary figure in the history of the NFL, just not in the traditional way that you think of it. But his place as a legend is absolutely accurate.
And it's wonderful that he's giving back, and people give him the opportunity to give back. Yeah, McLevin.
So his wife is a 6-foot-tall former collegiate volleyball player.
Yeah.
And you saw how big he is.
Yeah.
And he has a son.
Yeah, MacGyver.
Is there any doubt that's a first-round pick?
I don't know. I don't think he would want, if you said, hey, he can be a first-round pick or he can just be a good student, a happy kid, he might opt for that. He might. Because as he said, we get caught up in that what kind of player you are, not what kind of person you are. And he was good enough to get by and maybe not being a good person, but he was a good quarterback. Yeah, Paulie.
But that said, based on the name MacGyver Leaf alone, he's got to have at least half a dozen scholarship offers. And I think he's 18 months old. By the way, he's 6'1" at 18 months old.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, 6'1", 195.
Yeah. That's good, though. The NFL hired him. But, sometimes when you tell rookies, like, hey, here's some of the things I made mistakes here. Like, they look at you as if to say, I'd never lose my money. I would never take that. Or, I'd never act that way. And that's where you have to kind of penetrate that wall to say, look, I was on the floor of a prison thinking, how did I get in here? And I remember him telling us that. And I always appreciated his honesty and transparency.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.